Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the McGonigal Podcast, America's stupidest podcast. We're back. We keep thinking they're going to stop it, but I keep coming back somehow. I'm not sure. Well, we got a great episode for you tonight. Great panel tonight. On my right, the co-host of the podcast, Drunken Gaming, Jason Hazelwood is here. Jason, thanks for coming back to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm hard to believe I get anybody to come back a second time with this dumb podcast, so I really appreciate it. And on my left, a very funny comedian and finally a fellow Father Judge graduate on the podcast. Tim Grill is here. Tim Grill, thanks for coming out, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, after you see this stupid podcast, you might not thank me. You might be trying to burn the tapes. But it's good to be here. We just got done with Thanksgiving, so I'll start off. How was your Thanksgiving? Everybody had a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was nice.
Thanksgiving. Was there any political arguments at your dinner tables? Anybody have no political? No?
Nothing.
No, man, I was hoping for a good story. Somebody getting clocked. Nobody got mashed potatoes thrown at them.
Nah, nobody mentioned a word.
Everyone make sweet potatoes great again. Anybody have that slogan? That would have been awesome. I kept thinking about that. I mean, I don't do anything on Thanksgiving, but I kept thinking, I wonder if people are having brawls and fist fights or anything. Nothing.
I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were. There had to be. I didn't hear anything. But
I would love to have heard a good mashed potato gravy over somebody's head story. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Man, that's disappointing. I was hoping for somebody getting slapped at the dinner table, hit with a drumstick.
Yeah, some
Nothing.
videos, you know.
Yes, it's something.
Just like those Black Friday videos of people getting trampled
down.
I didn't see any of those either this year. It's disappointing. People getting stomped at Walmart.
I think a lot of people have stopped going out, to be honest.
It's not bad enough to be at Walmart. Then you're getting stomped. Just being at Walmart is bad enough. Then you're getting stomped on.
You got to be the guy who's stopping everybody from coming in and you get stomped.
I bet if you worked at Walmart or Target or something during the Black Friday and you call out sick, everybody, you pussy, you didn't come in. That pussy didn't show up. Are you kidding?
I think that Walmart has stopped that. Like, I think the majority of the places, and they do it under the guise of like, we don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah.
But they found out that they're not making money at it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no money to be made on Black Friday now that, you know.
Everybody's on the online?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess not. I never understood why you would go out and do that. I mean, you're buying stuff that, maybe you need, maybe you don't, but you're running up your credit card. I never got the whole thing.
Somebody showed a picture of a mall on Black Friday, and it looked like something from like I Am Legend. It was desolate.
It is.
Well, they said malls.
There's nobody there.
Malls are dying all over the country, right?
Yeah, because of online shopping.
Yeah,
Why would you go out and try to find a parking spot and go out in the cold and fight crowds? I mean, you could sit there in your couch
for a $3 TV.
Yeah,
there's 10 $3 TVs,
right, and
you're going to be there and risk life and limb for that $3 TV.
The only thing reason I shop sometimes is that I'm afraid if it's a big enough item, I'm afraid to get it delivered to my house because of porch pirates. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody stealing it. So, but if it's something small and ain't that big an item, I'll get it delivered to the house. But it's, like I had to buy a microwave, and I was like, I don't want to get that. I don't want that sitting out there. Somebody might take that. So I went to Walmart and bought one. But most of the time, I just do stuff online.
Yeah, my mom's been doing it for years, shopping online. She'll be done like Christmas shopping in July. You know what I mean? She gets it all done.
It's her fault.
Yeah, and she just
The decline of Western civilization falls at the feet of your mom.
But you know what's funny? I told my friends about 10 years. This is true. I told my friends about 10 years. We were at the Chamonix Mall, and I said, I guarantee you, because of online shopping, I said malls are going to just disappear, and now they're thinking about selling it in Chamonix Mall.
Wow!
They're going to be selling that.
It's sold. The Chamonix Mall is sold to developers.
And Franklin Mills, I heard,
is going to knock it down.
I think they're going to knock it down.
The Chamonix Mall was gigantic.
I know.
It was this gigantic place right outside of Northeast Philly. Wow!
Yep.
Wow! Holy cow! Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
Nothing except. KFC, which is what I wanted to get to the next subject. Did you hear about this new Christmas wrapping paper? It's KFC flavored wrapping paper that you can lick, and it tastes like KFC when you lick it to seal it up. KFC wrapping paper.
No.
We're not enough of a gluttonous country, a slob country. You have to make KFC wrapping paper.
These presents are delicious.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure if it comes with the actual diabetes or not. Maybe you can request that. I'm not sure.
Does it come with like mashed potatoes too?
See,
And
how awesome would that be? But could you imagine seeing some fat slob just wrapping presents on Christmas, overwrapping everything just so he can keep getting a lick?
and not telling somebody, and people be like, "This wrapping paper smells like chicken."
It's greasy. Why
Yeah,
are all
what
my
the-
Christmas presents
Yeah.
greasy?
The cat's eating it.
KFC flavored.
They do this now, and it's genius because McDonald's had a thing. They had a drop on Monday for a half gallon of McRib sauce for $20.
Oh, wow.
But you had to get online to buy this sauce, and my kid likes McRibs. I thought I'd go on.
Wow.
At 10 o'clock, I get in. It's in my cart. At 10:03, it's gone from my cart. I don't even get the McRib sauce.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
What happened?
I don't know. Porch Pirates.
About 20 years ago, I remember Burger King had a cologne because they used to do a joke about it. I don't know what the joke. I forget the joke, but they had a cologne. They were peddling a Burger King cologne.
Perfect for all you chubby chasers out there. Just put some of that Burger King cologne on the back of your neck. Here
Flame broil
big,
cologne.
Yeah, here come the big girls coming for you. You won't even have to. You don't even have to entice them anymore. They come for you.
The only thing chicks dig more than pheromones is fries.
Burger King cologne. How desperate are you to get laid if you're wearing Burger King cologne?
Imagine that.
Now I enjoy that. I'm glad you brought that up, Tim. I really enjoy that. Burger King cologne. You top the KFC wrapping paper. There you go. What are you gonna have next? Popeye's tampons.
Yeah, right.
McDonald's foot powder, I guess, will be coming on the market soon.
McDonald's talcum powder.
Good Lord. What a slob country this is. It really is. Good Lord. I'm reading where a lot of companies, when they're having their office parties, no more mistletoe. No more mistletoe. I guess because of Me Too and sexual harassment and that kind of stuff. No more mistletoe. Now, which I was thinking, how did guys get away with mistletoe for as long as they did? You think about mistletoe, you're hanging a leaf up, and you're telling some girl she has to kiss you under the leaf. It's amazing we got away with that in the first place for like 80 years or something.
I know.
Mistletoe.
It's like Mad Men, like in offices like that when they could get away with it,
Exactly.
Different time.
But it's who I wonder who the first horny fucker started that was.
Yeah, right.
Who just started telling
Somebody who
women
desperately wanted to kiss a girl.
It's the rules. You have
It's
to
the
do
law.
it.
It's the rule.
Just like the malls, like mistletoe farms are gone now. Like they've been completely canceled. Like you can't own a mistletoe farm because people will be outraged. People will be picketing outside your farm. It's terrible.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Weed is legal and mistletoe is not. What kind of world am I living in?
If 60 Minutes interviewed a mistletoe farmer and he's sitting there, yeah, we're gonna have to sell.
The face is blacked out.
Me and Ma, we're gonna have to sell. We thought we don't know what we're gonna do, and the bank's gonna foreclose on our mistletoe.
You suck! You suck, mistletoe farmers!
Holy cow! But yeah, that just amazes me when you think about that. Who could have started? Who was the horny guy sitting there going, "I got to get a broad to kiss me"? And he comes up with an idea of hanging something from the ceiling, and then now the rule is
Office parties, all together are just awful.
I can imagine.
Having that holiday party, you gotta,
Yeah, I never worked in an office. I can imagine how bad it is. Good Lord.
I mean, you're forced to spend every single day with these people anyway, and then and you got to spend your lunch hour with them at a party.
Well, I think a couple of years ago there was a whole thing where they started banning booze at office parties.
Which was the only thing that made them tolerable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess without the booze, you can't get the girl under the mistletoe.
Yeah, right.
That was an easy
She's
way to
not
get the
gonna
girl
say
under the
yes,
mistletoe. Now, I guess it makes sense that the mistletoe's going to hell now without the booze. Poor guys can't win. The guys are really going downhill in this country.
No booze, no mistletoe.
You're making it
no
so much harder.
No booze.
How am I supposed to get lucky at the office?
Yeah, you drive drunk, they pull you over. Guys can't win anymore. Poor guys are getting hammered. They
But
can't
if they
guys
pull
can't
you
win.
over and you have mistletoe in the car, right? Can you get out of the ticket by
Cop
just
has to
holding
kiss
it
you.
up?
It's
Like,
a
Cop has
officer,
to yeah, right.
How funny would that be? Mistletoe, you get a female, you get a female police officer, and you have to do it. These rules are rules.
Did you ever get pulled over by a female police officer?
No.
I did, going to a show one time.
Was she attractive?
She was.
Wow.
And it was in Delaware. And I told her I was a comedian. I saw her smile a bit. And she let me go. Because it was one of those neighborhoods, you know, you get off the highway, you're doing like the highway speed, and all of a sudden it drops down to like 25. And I didn't see it. I just blew right by her. And she pulled me over. So,
Wow.
you know, but I was late to my gig. You know, I was looking for my gig. But I made it. I made it to the show. But yeah, she let me go.
Wow. She let you just say you're a comedian and she let you go.
Yeah. I said, I'm on my way to a show and I'm lost.
Pull out one of them PBA cards?
No.
One time I was with Bob Levy. We were coming back from Pittsburgh. And it's like 7 o'clock in the morning on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And Bob's flying, doing like 80. And we get pulled over. And he tells the cop, I was just keeping up with traffic. And the cop, there's nobody out here. What traffic were you keeping up with? But then he pulled out the PBA card, and he got no ticket with the PBA card.
Yeah, a lot of times that works. You know.
It worked that time. But, I mean, she should have got, but I guess, I don't know.
Works as well as the I'm a comedian card.
Yeah,
though.
I like that one.
could've
I'm a
just
comedian
played
card.
that, Yeah.
You think they make you prove it, you know?
Yeah, right. I'll do it if I have to. But I was with Pat O'Donnell Thanksgiving weekend one time about 12 years ago. We got pulled over in Delaware again. It's always Delaware. I hate driving to
Oh,
Delaware.
yeah, they are nasty down there.
And Pat got a big ticket. The guy didn't let him go. He's like, you can't let me go. He's like, nah, it's no tolerance, whatever. And I remember the ticket was like monster, and you know he had to go back and fight it in court and stuff like that. And man, he was livid. He was so mad, and I was just in the car like, please get me home.
Right.
Wow.
It was so
Craziest
awkward,
part.
man. He was so mad.
Craziest part of that is Pat's a comedian. Like, he must not have known that he could have just
You
said,
could have pulled
"I'm a
out the comedian card, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He should have said, let me do the talking, Pat.
Yeah, Pat.
Been in this
I got this.
Yeah,
All
I've
right.
experienced with these
They know
Delaware.
me down here in Delaware.
We're comedians.
Yeah.
Say it wasn't that same cop who pulled you over.
We were coming back from the Outer Banks, the club down there at the Outer Banks.
Oh, yeah, I was down there once. Okay, yeah. Oh, geez. I never got pulled over going to a show. I haven't been pulled over in a long time, but I never got pulled over with comedy. Never got pulled over with comedy, but yeah, I guess maybe they just know that guy looks like a
He's a
comedian.
comedian.
Leave
Let
him
him go.
alone.
Well, I was just telling a friend, remember, because I started this when remember you would follow the directions from the pages.
Oh, of course. God, that was awful.
Triptych.
God,
What was that?
that was
Triptych,
awful.
The AAA triptych.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
MapQuest,
You go to the-
yeah.
MapQuest, that's what
Oh,
it
okay.
was. And I was like, I was stuck in I was on a South Jersey farm one time, totally lost. And I got the light on, I'm trying to flip over the pages and stuff. Man, that was crazy. I used to hate doing that.
Oh, that was awful before GPS, trying to find some of these comedy shows. Even with GPS, you can still get confused. But with that piece of paper,
Yep.
I didn't know what the hell
If
I
you
was.
forgot a step or something
Oh,
like
my
that,
God.
you'd have to backtrack. And
Dude, I was in some place in Pennsylvania where, like, I was driving down the road and I had MapQuest, and it says, you know, the destination's on the left, and I still rolled right past the town. Didn't
Oh,
like,
sure,
like,
sure,
you know,
sure.
like I can't imagine how you all guys did it.
I just did a
was
winery
brutal.
for cricket, and it was in a place that was so desolate. Like, my GPS goes, "You have arrived," and it was just nothing. Cornfields in Jersey. It was like with fog over it, and I was like, "Where is this place?" And the only thing I saw a car pull in and
I
then
did that
kind of
place for
disappear.
cricket. It's way off the road.
Way off the
Yeah, I
road.
did that place for cricket. Well,
So
you
I just
think-
followed the car, and then I found it. But I
You
was
think
like,
you're in the middle of a horror movie.
You
when
do.
Yeah, that
It's
was
like Children of the Corn
And
or
a friend of
something.
mine came to the show, and he somehow found it. He goes, "How the hell did you find it? What are you doing comedy?" But it was actually a fun show.
that was a great place.
Yeah,
But you can't
But
find
it's
it.
way off the road. That's right. That's well. One time, speaking of just with GPS, I'm coming back from a gig, and those roundabouts in Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the built-in GPS in the car, the navigation system, and there must have been some kind of glitch because it kept taking me around a roundabout.
It's like
I couldn't-
vacation, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't get out of the roundabout. Luckily, Anita Wise was with me. So she took her phone out and she figured out how to get out of the roundabout. I'd still be there.
Yeah, right.
Going around in circles.
I was just going.
Look, kids, Parliament.
Just kept taking me right back. I said, what is this? But I was just following the GPS to the T.
This comedy has taken me to places I would never have ever been to.
It's absurd, some of these places. Last night I was going, it was dark, now I'm getting old in my eyes. I went right past the place, had a U-turn and come back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the driveway was hard to see, but I somehow, I don't know how I wrecked the car doing this. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been to
Did you say
places.
you wrecked the car?
No, I said I don't know how I haven't wrecked the car.
Oh my God! I thought this is a much better story. Like, why are we just? But I don't know how I wrecked the car doing that.
That
We're
would be
just
a
gonna
much
let
better
it go.
story.
Yeah.
That's why this is a stupid podcast. The stories aren't good. The stories are boring. So I was reading about this. They were Canadian production of A Christmas Carol, and in the middle of it, one of the actors dropped dead on stage just the other night. This beloved member of the Canadian theater community. And in this production, he was playing both Marley and Fezziwig. He was playing both roles, and he apparently dropped dead on stage right in the middle of the thing.
For the Dick Shawn, huh?
Yeah. And the worst part was Scrooge wouldn't give his family off to go to the funeral, and he told them nobody's getting a day off to go to the funeral.
Yeah, right.
But can you imagine you little kids in the audience watching Christmas Carol, and this guy drops dead?
Guy drops dead. There's a doctor in the audience. Yeah, that's how Dick Shawn went, right?
Yeah, well, there's a whole book. It's called The Show Won't Go On. It's all about performers who have died on stage.
Who was that other guy? The guy with the fez in the 80s. He was a comedian.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He was from, he was like a British guy. It's famous video. You see him, he has a heart attack right there on stage, and everyone thinks it's a bit, and they're laughing.
Well, they did with Dick Shawn, too. They thought it was a bit.
And then they pull him under the curtain. Like they pull him under the curtain. The guy died.
That's amazing.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's famous.
But the book is really good. It's all about comedians, actors, dancers, radio DJs who died
on stage?
All died on stage, and radio DJs who died live on the air. So
Oh, my God.
There's enough to fill a whole book. It's called The Show Won't Go On.
Oh, wow. I got to check that out.
It's a really neat book. But, yeah, this guy died during Christmas Carol, like Christmas Carol isn't depressing enough, with the ghost of Christmas future and Tiny Tim. It's not depressing enough. Now you got a dead body like that. Even Charles Dickens would have said, this is a little too much.
Right.
A little too much
The ghost
misery.
of Christmas plays.
It's too much misery. But then they fired the ghost of Christmas future because he didn't predict it. They said, you should have predicted it. How could you not predict this guy was going to drop dead? Could you imagine if families all gathered in the audience going to see A Christmas Carol?
Oh, the trauma. The trauma of these kids.
I wouldn't mind dropping dead on stage in the middle of a set. I can think of worse ways to go.
Yeah, right?
I can think of a lot worse ways to go, laying in a nursing home or
Like,
something.
Park Your Carcass.
Yeah, of course. Albert Brooks' father.
Albert Brooks' father, they said he crushed, and then he went back to the
And a
table
roast.
to put his head down and died.
It was a roast for Desi and Lucy.
Yeah.
And he died.
What was the song that they told the guy to sing? Because they were like,
Oh,
sing
yeah,
a song,
yeah,
sing it. And
yeah.
it was like the most inappropriate song
Yeah,
you could imagine.
But it was like, this is the 1950s, I guess, and nobody was doing, they didn't know how to do CPR. They were like trying to loosen his clothes and trying
Yeah, right? Loosen his tie, like that's going to help.
CPR classes. And
Give him a cigarette.
Back then, it probably took an ambulance forever to get there.
Yeah, right?
Still throwing out roast jokes like, this guy's so dead.
Yeah,
How dead is he? Oh, no, guys, come on.
Comedians are like claiming his joke. His jokes are mine now.
But the best was his other son was Bob Einstein. Super Dave Osborne was Albert Brooks' brother. His other son. So he used to tell the story. People would say to him, listen, at least your father died doing what he loved. And I would say, oh, really? What's your mom do? Is she a housewife? Or what if I come over to the house while she's cleaning, I shoot her in the head? She'll die doing what she loves.
Right.
How would you like it?
I hate that saying.
Die doing what
Die
you
doing
love.
what he likes. I bet he don't like it no more.
But I wouldn't mind dropping dead on stage. Again, you got to go eventually, so what the hell? That'd be kind of funny. Would you mind doing? You got to go at some point. I'm not saying tomorrow, but I wouldn't mind doing it at some point. Keeling over on stage.
Like you said, I could think of worse ways to
And
go.
I feel sorry for the headliner who had to follow me.
Yeah, right.
That would suck.
As long as I did well,
That would suck. You had to follow me, following a dead body.
It's good for your legacy, right? Like, it'll help your numbers
There
after the
you
fact.
go.
Like, all your podcast numbers will be up.
You know.
I've died metaphorically
he died-
many times on stage.
Please, I died, but I had coroners sitting there in the front row.
Yeah,
drooling.
me too, boy,
Some of
I
my
tell you that.
bombs.
They're coming up loosening your clothes.
Oh,
like, we don't know
absolutely.
CPR.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they were picking out pallbearers at a few of my shows. Absolutely.
We were talking about Cherry Hill Comedy Cabaret. I had some doozies there, boy. I tell you that. Some doozies there.
Yeah, I can remember some nightmare sets in my life, too. Absolutely. But did you know that, we had Black Friday 2 days ago. Do you know some plumbers call it Brown Friday because of all the clogged toilets they had to clean up on the day after Thanksgiving? The day after Thanksgiving is known as Brown Friday in the plumbing industry.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Brown Friday, and
That must be a date on their calendar that they got circled.
And it only like 40% is from John Cancel's stink bombs going down the
right,
toilet. That's not all of it. But yeah, Brown, you imagine if you're a plumber. I mean, on the one hand, hey, we're going to do good business, but the other hand,
It's all shit. Right? Sorry.
Brown Friday. Can you imagine?
What can Brown do for you?
Yeah, there you go. The poor plumber.
A lot if you're a plumber.
That's another day, like Eddie Plumber who calls that sick day at the Thanksgiving. You pussy, just like the Walmart people.
We're in the trenches today, boys.
Oh, that's gotta suck. That's gotta suck.
That really does, man.
Brown
What
Friday.
a job. Could you imagine that?
Oh my God! Well, of course, we're comedians, so we can't be looking down anybody's job for Christ's sakes.
No, you're right.
Nothing more embarrassing than being a comedian.
Every day is Brown Friday.
Yeah, right.
Every day is
We're
Brown
pretty
Friday.
much.
Yeah.
We're damn near. And while I'm on the same subject, you read about this guy in Northeast Philly. He's been going around to people's houses in Northeast Philly and pooping in their backyards and taking off. He's like a serial backyard pooper. On the
it
loose
Kensel?
and on the Kensel?
Is it Kensel?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to say that, but that came to mind, of course. Actually, hear something. Oh, Kensel must be out
Dropping
again.
stink bombs all over the Northeast Philadelphia.
Kensel must have lost a bet with Wid.
Wid's out collecting them as props.
Yeah, right.
I'm not putting this shit in my truck.
Don't give him any idea. But can you imagine you had to worry about some guy pooping in your
Now,
backyard?
What's the
some
motivation of that? I
lunatic?
mean, I know you're crazy at this point, but like, what's, you know what I mean? Like, how crazy are you?
Some
You know what I
lunatic.
mean?
Like, what is the first off,
Does he get off on it, or
how did I guess it was on people's Ring cameras, right?
It
Because
had
you
to
don't
be.
go out and be like, that's human
Yes, yeah,
shit.
right.
You're right.
I know my-
People had to have seen all the security cameras.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, what? I mean, I think what kind of maybe this guy wasn't getting invited to the neighborhood barbecues, or somebody took his
is
parking
it the
space.
same neighborhood, or is it?
It was basically the same neighborhood from what they were saying. From what I read, what I got out of reading the article.
Because it'd be funnier if they knew him. Before,
They
you
might,
know, if
that's
the
what
whole
I'm
neighborhood
thinking.
knew him, they're like, "Why is Bill shitting on
I'm
there?"
thinking they might know him. Who knows? Maybe he might be bundled up and he might have his hoodie or something on and a security cameras. Maybe they can't identify him. Obviously, I'm sure he is. But it must be some guy who's pissed off at somebody, or somebody in the neighborhood did something.
What would the motivation?
Somebody
be for
slept with his wife, or somebody beat up his kid. He's taking me. It's gotta be going around pooping in your neighbors. I mean, I've had some neighbors I didn't like. I don't think I'd have went to that extreme.
Yeah, right.
I might have thought about pissing on their hubcaps, but I don't know if
But
I
it
would
doesn't
actually.
even seem like that extreme. Like, don't get me wrong, it's wrong, it's horrible. But what's the payoff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless they see you doing it, they're just
Right.
like, a dog came in and shit in the yard. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, there's no.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
that.
guess
It's like that scene from Me, Myself, and Irene. Remember when Jim Carrey walks in? He's Hank, and he walks into the guy and he grabs his paper and he comes out and he just takes a big dump on his lawn because the guy's dog was doing it on his.
But then, like, you're getting that immediate satisfaction. Like, there's nothing like, if I just shit if I shit on my neighbor's front porch, he's going to come out and step in it. Like, if I
Right.
shit in his yard, like
Like the great Jim Morrison said, people are strange, man.
God knows what the guy. I guess in his mind he's getting these people. Or maybe he's just a jogger who can't hold it in. He's an early morning jogger and he can't hold it in, so he just shits.
Shits in people's backyards.
maybe he's really helpful and he sees like a patch of dry land and he's like, I'm going to help with composting.
Is this an ongoing story? Because I haven't watched the news.
Yeah, it was in. I think it was in. I saw it on one of the websites. I can't remember what website. Maybe it was.
They haven't caught him or anything?
No, maybe it was Crossing Broad or one of the local websites where they were like having some fun with it. Yeah, they haven't caught him as of the other day when I saw it. They hadn't caught him yet. No.
So he's a serial shitter.
Yeah. Serial pooper. And even if they had caught him, for the sake of the podcast, pretend they didn't catch him.
Yeah, we're going to pretend they
No,
cause
but
the
I mean,
story.
from what I read, they didn't catch him. But maybe, who knows? Maybe some poor guy, might be a homeless guy, maybe. Who knows?
So I think you should put the tip line number down here. And if anybody knows who the serial shitter is, please.
And we'll get in our Scooby van as we call John Kensel's truck, and we'll go right around looking for him.
Have him come in as a guest.
Yeah, he's on the next podcast.
Yeah,
The shitter,
interview him.
The shitter and the guy who invented mistletoe. We're going to both be sitting here. We're going to figure what the hell's going on. What the hell's going on? Do you read about these lunatics who are going to see Wicked, and they're breaking out in song in the theater? They're singing along, and the other people in the theater are furious. Because people are singing along.
Yeah, but didn't they used to do that with the Rocky Horror?
Yeah, but that was a different thing.
Picture
Everybody
show?
knew it was like midnight shows, and everybody knew it was going to
They
happen.
would throw food and stuff, right?
But this is just like people are going to taking their kids and saying these people are singing along to this.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When Prince died, they re-released Purple Rain, and I went to see it, and everyone was singing in the movie theater. You know, I don't know anything about Wicked. To be honest with you, I don't know any. I know it's a Wizard of Oz thing, but I don't know anything about the story. But I don't know. Would that bother you?
If I took my kids and I was trying to watch them, I think I'd want my money back. You're
Yeah,
trying to watch
maybe.
them. People are
I get pissed, like, even like when the new Star Wars comes out and people are like applauding in the theater. Like, I get annoyed. I'm like, the people who made this can't hear you.
Yeah.
They can't hear you. Stop singing. Stop ruining my experience.
I just hate the cell phones. You know,
the cell phones are brutal too. Yeah, I guess that still goes on if people are still too stupid to just text and shit and put everything on mute. I guess that goes on too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but could you imagine you paid? I don't know how much a movie is now. It's got to be pretty expensive.
Well, that's
at
another
this
thing. We were
point.
talking about malls disappearing. Like, I can't tell you the last movie I've been to, you know, because the movies are coming out so quick now. And, you know, like I'm home. I got a nice big TV screen, surround sound. Like, why do I need to go out and spend $20 on popcorn or whatever? Like, I just, you know, I haven't really, and I always love going to the movies. I went
to see the Saturday Night movie, which is about the.
I wanted to see that.
Making of the first episode.
Yeah.
It was really
Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good. The casting was great. Everybody played the parts great. It was great.
I wanted to see that, but again, I thought that'll be out in a month.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see that too.
Yeah.
But I always go, do I need to see this? Like, is it
No,
going to be
you're right.
ruined if I don't go and see it? You know.
I just did it out of sort of habit.
I wanted to see it in the theater. I did, but it's one of those things. You know, life gets and next thing you know, like, remember when we were kids, movies used to be out all summer. They used to be out for months. Like when I was a kid, Empire Strikes Back was out like the entire summer. You could see it 3-4 times. Or Rocky.
They come and go now.
They come and go within like 2-3 weeks. They're
Yeah,
gone. And they're on DVD. You walk in Walmart and they're already on DVD. You're like, holy moly,
Wow.
They'd
that
be in
movie
the
just
first
came
run
out.
theaters, and then they'd go to like the 99-cent theater. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
you'd have a run.
We had the Devon in my neighborhood after they would go to the first
So
one.
I
They
went to
come
Devon all the time.
Devon,
99 cents. You got your penny back.
Exactly right.
Yep. Yeah, your feet stuck to the
It
floor.
used to be a
Yep.
porn theater.
Oh,
I
yes,
saw.
it did. Yes,
I
it
saw
did.
Rocky
Dirty
3 there.
Devon.
I saw Grease there. I saw Rocky 3 there.
Breaking to Electric Boogaloo there.
At the Devon.
And at the Devon, and there was an alley on the back. There was a line
Oh,
around
no.
the building
Yeah.
to see Breaking Two.
Wow.
Guys had linoleum. They were break dancing.
I think I saw E.T. there. I think.
The Mayfair Theater was nice too.
Oh, the Mayfair.
I saw Ghostbusters at the Mayfair
I saw
Theater. That was beautiful
the
theater.
original Star Wars there in 1977, and the line came out down and then went all the way up Lyon Avenue. The original
Yeah, that was a beautiful theater.
First movie I ever saw when I was like maybe 5 years old. My aunt took me to see Santa Claus versus the Martians.
Wow.
At the Mayfair Theater. Santa Claus versus the Martians.
I remember my first movie. My dad took me, and it's like some like rare Disney movie called My Favorite Dinosaur.
Wow.
It's just I looked it up one time. I was like, what is that? And I looked at it. I found it. I was like, that's what my first movie was. My Favorite Dinosaur.
Wow. Where did he take it?
I think it was the GCC. The
Welsh Road?
yeah, the
which is not
Northeast.
there anymore.
That's not there. It's like a
No.
welfare building or something like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
But yeah.
Some damn thing.
Sometimes, like I saw Smokey and the Bandit there, and when you came out, they would have the car there, and they did it for Herbie the Love Bug too.
Wow.
Herbie the Love Bug, they had the actual car there when you came out. They would do that sometimes. It was cool.
Wow. Different times now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's fine. Please, this podcast is so stupid. Take it any direction. Doesn't matter. Trust me, barely anybody's watching anyway. Doesn't matter what we talk about. But I just can't imagine these lunatics singing in a theater where I paid, the $9 or whatever it is. I'd have to get my money back. Of course, if you're stupid enough to go to Wicked, maybe you deserve.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe you deserve to get to it. But I mean, it's for.
If you're gonna go, probably should be aware of what you're walking into.
Little girls and gay guys like Wicked, right? So I'm sure it's the gay guys who are doing the singing.
Right?
If I was a gambling man, it was mostly a gay choir, Philadelphia gay choir in the back of the theater singing along.
And that's probably why people are upset.
Well,
that's
maybe.
the only reason it caught any news traction, because they're these gay guys are
right.
ruining my family entertainment.
Right.
You know?
So, the whole ongoing thing about Puff Daddy, but, the whole thing has been, you guys been following Puff Daddy, right? He's in jail. I was thinking, who's lucky? All the uncool black guys who never got invited to any of his parties. You don't have anything to worry about, like Wayne Brady,
yeah, right.
Or Urkel. They never got invited to any of his freak-offs, so they're like the luckiest guys in the world.
Well, first let me
Lester
say,
Holt.
let me say how out of the loop you are. You're still calling him Puff Daddy.
Oh, that's right. It's, what is it, Diddy? Diddy.
Or Diddy now. Let's get it right. No,
You don't think there's any Wayne Brady footage floating around somewhere from a P. Diddy party?
Wayne
Him just
Brady's probably
slathered in baby oil.
that dude's probably the wildest, craziest dude.
They couldn't have invited a boring guy like Wayne Brady, could they? To a
I
Puff
don't
Daddy
know.
party that would ruin everything.
I don't know.
They just grease him up. He was the entertainment for the party. Wayne's like, stop it, guys, stop it. They're like, Wayne, you're getting greased up and you're going to like it.
Well, now there's that kind of everyone's saying that the axe is going to fall on so many people.
Oh, you would think.
But
You
they
would
said that
think.
about what's his face too. The dude who got
Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah,
They
but they killed
said
him.
there's a
Puff,
list. They
Puff
said
Daddy's still alive yet.
Puff Daddy's still alive so far.
Yeah,
But
and he's got. I'm waiting. There's people in Hollywood
They
who are
say
shitting themselves.
they got
They
videos
have to be. They
Yep.
have to be shitting themselves.
Yeah.
Going to some of these Puff Daddy parties and fuck. Some of these comedians, the black comedians who probably went to them,
Yep.
said that the entertainer's probably having a heart attack.
Will Smith, I heard, and Kevin Hart, I heard, used to be there all the time.
There's footage of Kevin Hart recorded something for MTV, and it's frightening.
Yeah.
It's really like deer in headlights. Like,
That's why they said Bieber doesn't really.
Well,
Bieber tried to separate himself.
They
for a
were
long
saying
time.
he might have been getting greased up in there, Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
That's one of the things they were
they're saying
saying.
Jennifer Lopez probably saw it
Oh,
all.
well, she was dating him. Yeah,
She was married. Wasn't she married? Oh, dating him.
No, she was dating him. Yeah.
Dating him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, I'm sure well, God knows what she's probably forgotten. She's been married and dating so many guys, she can't remember who's who.
Right?
At
Married
this
like
point,
5 times or whatever.
But the best is when the news anchors were talking about the case and they said that Puff Daddy or your Diddy was taken into custody. His name is Sean Combs. His name
Right.
is, you're a news anchor. You're not supposed to call a guy by his
by his
nickname.
rap name. This guy's got a birth name.
You're a news. That's one thing for people to call him that.
I guess a lot of people won't know him as that name, though.
CBS Evening News. What Diddy? Diddy is in
Just
trouble.
think about it. That's what amazes me about people, though. Like, this guy had the life, right? Didn't have to work a day in his life. He could have jetted off and been like, but he's got to screw up. And now he might spend the rest of his life in prison.
It's always sex with all these rich guys.
Yeah.
It's always all of them. I mean, the Kennedys and everybody.
Yeah.
It's always sex.
Trafficking people
It's always sex. I guess when you get that big, and then there's women around, you just lose your mind.
I guess so.
I guess you would.
But I mean, just think about and he's only. I think he's my age. I think we're the same age, like
Probably,
54
yeah.
or 7. Could you imagine spending the rest of your life now in prison?
Yeah, and
from the life you had.
You were Puff Daddy. And I wonder if he's going to run the jail like John. They said John Gotti used to run the jail he was in. John Gotti was
John Gotti was John Gotti.
Yeah.
He was,
Remember the baseball player, Denny McClain, who got in trouble for some financial crimes? Well, he was in the same jail as Gotti. And they said some nights his guys would come, because Gotti was a baseball fan apparently, they would come to Denny McClain's cell, and Mr. McClain and Mr. Gotti would like you to have dinner with him. And Denny McClain glad you go over and there'd be steak and...
Well, did you ever go to Eastern State Penitentiary?
Yeah. Al Capone's?
Al Capone's, every cell is just awful until Al Capone's. He's got carpets and stuff. They said he was able to come and go whenever he
And
wanted.
he had a radio in there.
He had a radio.
Radio was a big thing back then.
They think he was in there just to hide for a
Because
year.
they think people were
They had
trying
to
to
hit him.
people were trying to whack him in Chicago.
Yeah.
So he got arrested at a movie theater in Philadelphia
Philly.
for gun possession.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, they think that maybe that's what he was doing.
But it's so funny to see all the cells, and then you come to that one. You see
Yeah.
that one, you're
It's
like,
all
oh, you got to be
refurbished.
kidding me.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, that was before the syphilis kicked in on Al. So prison was a lot better than syphilis.
Yeah, and then Gotti died of cancer of the mouth or something, didn't he?
No, I think it was syphilis he got. Untreated
Gotti.
syphilis.
No,
Oh,
Gotti. I
I'm
said
sorry.
Gotti. Didn't. I think he had like dental work done or something, and got cancer from it or something.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think so. Yeah.
And of course, the best gaudy story is about when his son who got ran over by a car.
They never saw that guy again.
But they waited. It was like 6 months later, and then the guy disappeared.
Yep.
It wasn't like they didn't do it right away.
Yeah.
6 months later, the guy just disappeared one day.
Why wouldn't you disappear on that? Like if you were that guy, when you found out whose kid you hit and killed.
Myself, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he must have been shit himself.
Oh man, he knew it was over.
Just disappeared one day, and he never saw the poor bastard again. So I was reading about this couple. They hired a dog sitter to come. They were on vacation to come. She had a key to the house. Come and feed the dogs while she's on vacation. So after this, a couple months later, somehow they find out. Somebody tells, "Hey, your house is on OnlyFans." Here, the woman who was the dog sitter who was coming to feed filmed this sexy OnlyFans stuff in their house while they were on vacation, when she was supposed to be feeding the dog. So their house is the background of her sex on OnlyFans.
Wow.
I keep looking for the tie-in that ties all the stories together, and I was hoping that she was the shitter. I was hoping that.
But we're gonna have a cliffhanger for next episode. But can you imagine you got a dog and you're up on Only? I would love it. I mean, the most excitement my house ever had, my boring house.
So who's the one who uncovered that, though? So who's the one who was on the OnlyFans and said, hey, that's...
Yeah, somebody knew is stupid enough to pay for, which I can't understand why anybody pays for OnlyFans. With all the nudity on the internet, why would you have to pay for that? But some guys get obsessed with certain girls, I guess. But how hilarious is that? But your house is the background for this sex stuff? I would love it. My house is so boring. I'd be advertising.
There's been worse done in people's houses, you know.
Yeah, I would love it. I'd be sending it as a clip to the.
I just read some girl made like $34 million on.
I keep reading all these stories about these women who make these outrageous amounts of money on OnlyFans.
She showed her bank account statement on the bottom of the screen, and she made in 1 year she made $34 million just being on the OnlyFans.
There's a bunch of them, and some of them don't even get naked. They get bikinis and stuff. I don't. Who was paying for this?
I don't know. Like you said, people who are like maybe obsessed with one girl.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. But I mean, it's like women finally learned how to make money off stalkers, basically. And they finally figured out how to monetize stalkers.
But the friend who tells you,
right,
who tells you Mary who dog sat, her OnlyFans page was at your house. That guy's now suspicious. You're paying?
You're right. Hey, thanks for the info, but how do you know?
Yeah, right. And what does Mary do?
That is amazing. I understand. I believe there's some female comics who
was she arrested or did she have to, was anything happen?
I don't think anything happened. I think the couple was mad, but
that's not really illegal, right? I wouldn't see.
I don't know if you're doing it in somebody's house. It depends on what she did, I guess.
Right.
Maybe they were just nude pictures or something. But maybe now she was having some kind. I don't know. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure exactly what the law is on that, and hopefully I'll never find out. Hopefully I'll never be dragged into court.
I'd like to be the jury on that case. Can I see the evidence again?
You're gonna have to give me a 30-day.
We're deadlocked. We're deadlocked. We're gonna have to keep reviewing the evidence.
We got to keep reviewing this evidence.
But I believe there's some female comics who have OnlyFans pages. I'm not sure who make money on this, which I guess you might as well make money anyway. I'll never monetize this stupid podcast, so God bless you. I mean, if you figure out how to do it, God bless you. You figured out how to monetize Drunken Gaming yet? No. I mean, there's a very small percentage of people who do. The rest of us are just like out here in the woods, out here in the wilderness, doing it for the love of the game.
So the Ed McGonigal OnlyFans page might be where the two worlds collide. You can use that to finance this.
That's debuting St. Patrick's Day. OnlyFans page. So get ready.
You want to
throw your computer in the trash before that, so you don't accidentally see it.
Ed's also going to start doing dog sitting, so if anybody has animals, then he can come.
I would like to dog sit, and at least watch a dog sitter. So Elon Musk has been in the news a lot lately, and he's autistic apparently. Apparently, Elon Musk is autistic, and I'm thinking. There's people out there who say to themselves, I have a nephew who's autistic. Maybe one day he'll be the richest man in the world. Maybe he'll be. And that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That was $1 million in one shot.
Everybody's on the spectrum now, right?
Or the autistic guy would have that kind of success. Your nephew is autistic. He's not going to have the same story. He's not going to be the richest man in the world.
More likely, he's going to be the serial shitter.
He's going to be the serial. He's going to be paying for OnlyFans.
Yeah, right.
That's what he's going to be, working at Costco and then watching bukkake videos on his phone. He's not going to. I feel sorry for people. Yeah, no, he could be a role model for autistic kids. No, he's not going to be. It was a billion.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that.
Supposedly, people say he's autistic. I don't. I'm not. This will surprise you, but I'm not a doctor. Yeah, I'm not a therapist.
Yeah, right.
I know you might have thought I was, but I'm
Well, he's
not.
one on YouTube.
I'm not a clinical therapist. But people say him and the other guy supposedly is autistic too. Zuckerberg.
Oh, Zuckerberg. Okay.
Yeah, he looks like something wrong with him, Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
he reminds me of Mr. Data on the Star Trek: The Next Generation.
He's all pale and
That's
everything.
what he reminds me
Yeah.
of. He's a weird dude, that Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, there's video footage of him like stumbling like in front of Congress, and he's gone like, back when I was human, and then he goes,
Really?
Not, but I'm still human. But and it was like
That's the weirdest thing when he's in front of Congress, because he's wearing a suit, and he never wears a suit. So to see Zuckerberg in a suit, it was the weirdest thing. It was like, he's wearing a hoodie.
Didn't Musk name his kid like a math equation or something like
It
that?
wouldn't surprise- but he's got like 10 kids with like 4 different women or something.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
It's some crazy thing he's got. A bunch of kids he's got.
Well, he can afford them.
Well, yeah, he can. he can.
But it's tough to find the woman who will allow you to name her kid a math equation.
Yeah, and
Like that's really the
Not for the Elon Musk money. It wouldn't be hard. You
Yeah,
can
no.
probably name him anything. She's getting them checks.
you're making $35 billion a day, for God's sakes.
Why would you care? So I was reading about this church who they were taking confessions and they were using a hologram Jesus.
I heard about that.
You're going in, you're giving your confession a hologram Jesus. Now, would you feel guilty because you're not just talking to the police, you're talking to Jesus? I mean, you feel like you might have to spice it up a little bit, make it worth Jesus' while to take your confession.
I think it's weird. Does it mean more to people if they're looking at an image of Jesus and telling him what they did?
That's the creepiest
last thing I would want.
If I was a kid going to confession, they'd have to drag me in there. And hologram
hated
Jesus.
confession.
Yeah, I was scared of confession.
Me too.
You couldn't even see the priest. Don't mind a hologram Jesus looking at you.
I was scared. As I got older, I was scared because my mom worked at the rectory.
Oh, jeez.
So I was afraid they were going to know who I was
Of course
and what
they
I
would.
did.
Of course they're gonna
because they
know.
could see, and I knew who the priest was.
Of course they're gonna know.
Yeah, so I was like, I would make stuff up, like light stuff,
Yeah, I worked in a priest house when I was in 8th grade,
Uh-oh.
and we were like the house boys. Like I was not cute enough. I don't have any good molestation story. But they would all sit at dinner talking about, Timmy came in today, masturbated 6 times.
No way, really?
6 times, yes,
Oh
6
my!
times.
Oh
They
my
really
God!
did talk
Oh
about it.
yeah, they would
really?
sit across the dinner table because they weren't sworn to secrecy. They would,
I thought you were with a confessional. I thought you were sworn to secrecy.
No, not among the
That's
other
what I
priests.
thought. Oh, really?
No, they can't they can't go and give testimony against
Right,
you.
but I
My
didn't think you
mom
were
swore a
supposed to
lot
tell
on that
anybody.
girlfriends. Like they kind of made no bones about that.
Yeah, I
you know?
swear
They had
that there were
girlfriends?
Yeah.
So I was at St. Joachim's, and there was the convent right next to the priest house because there were nuns in the school teaching, and then nuns came over all the time, and they would have parties. We never saw them doing anything untoward.
Look,
but
man,
they
that's
would be
that's a hard vow
dancing
to keep.
We had
you know?
when I was a kid. We used to skateboard, and there was this one nun who would come out and she would skateboard with us. She would get on the skateboard.
It's like
and she
Nun's
would-
Life. You ever see Airplane? Nun's Life? the nuns on the surfboard or whatever.
But she would actually come out and get on the skateboard. And I remember my father's, who she thinks she is on a skateboard?
Yeah.
My father's an old-fashioned Catholic. That's crazy. On a
I used to
skateboard.
hate confession. I think the last time I was at confession was in high school, senior year of judge. That was because that's the last time I had to go. I haven't been there since.
I went one time, this is like 30 years ago, and I hadn't been in a long time. Said I told the priest how long it had been since my confession. And I'm thinking he's going to give me some more fathers. He did say 3 rosaries. 3 rosaries.
That's what I'm afraid of. I'm going to have to say the Novena and I'll have to go to Rome or something and see the Pope.
I'd rather blow the Pope than say 3 rosaries. Can't I just give somebody a hand job real quick? 3 rosaries.
So where did the Catholic Church get this technology? Do you think they just repurposed like an old, like we've got this Elvis hologram. Can we make Elvis look like Jesus?
The guy from Jesus of Nazareth or something like that, or you know?
Yeah, but it's amazing. Everybody's got technology now. Even the Catholic Church. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got the graphics, CGI in their house.
Yeah,
it's amazing. This AI is just going to crush everybody.
Hologram Jesus looked like Tupac.
Yeah.
And the Catholic Church was not having it. Like, we don't buy into the black Jesus.
I had that idea years ago when I saw the Tupac hologram. I was like, they should make a tour. Like, they should do that and put on a show and have, like, Frank Sinatra and Elvis.
They've talked about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
and everybody that has passed on, put Jimi Hendrix on it and stuff like that. That would be a cool thing to see. If you make them realistic, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. In the 80s, they used to have those laser light shows that would tour.
Yeah.
Like a hologram tour would do at least that. Like I would get high and go watch.
Of course, people.
I saw an Elvis show one time in Camden. It was his original band. It's one of the reasons I'm a big Elvis fan. And they had him on the screen. And then the original band played the entire set.
Wow.
And then he would sing to it. They synced it up. And it was a really cool concert.
That is cool.
Wow,
and within like 5 years, like almost all those guys died. Like they were all on their last, crazy.
They were just barely hanging on, the Elvis guys.
We got to make sure Tim sees the show.
And I went, and it was great.
Tim's out there. Let's hang on.
Yep.
I'm hoping somebody does a hologram at McGonigal, but nobody's going to want to after I die. I'm going to be forgotten. Like John Kessel's going to be the 90. He ever knew me. He'd be walking around. I didn't know him.
And they're all going to be based on the Tupac hologram, so it's going to be Tupac with like Ed's hat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
How about that President Bush? Not the Tupacs. Now, that would be funny. Did you read about the Uber driver who I guess it was Uber Eats, I guess it was. So we picked up his food order, and he's going to the person's house, and he's smelling something. And he's smelling this weird smell, so he stops the car, and he unwraps what's supposed to be a burrito, and it's pot. It's pot. Apparently, the restaurant guy was sending pot to certain customers, I guess,
wow.
what they called him. And the Uber driver called the police.
He was a drug runner. But
yeah, but like, they were using the Uber Eats or DoorDash people to run pot.
Wow.
Apparently. But the Uber driver called the police. Now, it's amazing the police didn't lock him up thinking he was making it up. You know what I mean? But then again, why would he call the police?
Yeah, if you're gonna, why would you call the police?
Right.
But man, that's putting them in a bad position, you know.
And they found the only non-stoner Uber driver because most guys are just stealing.
Yeah, right.
Was that Terry Gillespie?
No, I'm sure he would have smoked it. I'm sure.
Wow.
But yeah, but can you imagine you smell something and it's pot? That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. And then the cops had to come. Jesus, that's funny. you an Uber driver, I mean, good. But imagine the balls of the guy who owned a restaurant to be using these Uber drivers
That's what I'm saying.
To run his pod for him.
Yeah,
that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. He's getting to run his pod for him. What gotta be the laziest pot dealer ever.
Well, I mean, the pot's legal now, right? So it's like.
It's legal, but you had to be an authorized pot dealer. Like you can't
okay.
Like I couldn't just sell you something.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that's still a crime. That's still a crime to sell
okay.
if you're not a legal pot dealer. Which it is kind of weird. I don't know how much they enforce it or how much penalty it is, but it is still technically illegal to sell it if you're not a licensed pot dealer. But again, the police probably don't even enforce it. They probably just go,
yeah, right. We'll take it off your hands.
We got murderers and carjackers.
Like they used to do to us when we had keg parties. Yeah, leave the beer.
Of course. Of course, those astronauts are still stranded in space. They're still stranded, and I was reading where the food they have, they're eating soup. But to regenerate the soup, they have to use their own urine.
Yeah.
Did you read that? They have to regenerate their own. Can you imagine? I mean, it's not. When you go to NASA, they don't tell you that in the training. When you're training to be an astronaut, they're telling you about how great it is. You're going to follow in the footsteps of Neil Armstrong.
Right.
They don't mention the urine soup.
Yeah.
That's never mentioned in
fine print.
Any of the
You'll have to
recruiting
drink your own
classes. I
piss.
guarantee there's never one NASA recruiting class. So, yeah, you'll get the chance to eat urine soup. Come on and join NASA.
I don't understand why they can't get those guys.
It's the craziest thing ever.
I mean, Musk is lifting off rockets once a week now.
These two people, and one of them, I think it's a guy and a woman.
And a woman, yeah.
It's
they can't
amazing.
get them until February, I think.
How can they, in this day and age, they're still stranded in space? They rescued Tom Hanks, for Christ's sakes, and that was the 60s.
Right. They lift the rocket up once a week now. Like, how could you just not? It just blows my mind.
But those rockets, they're accounted for. Like, they got things to take up. They got things to bring back.
Yeah, I know.
These guys, like, if they were in any danger, they'd get them out of there. But they're like,
right.
You just got to hang.
Oh, come on, Armageddon, they made 2 space shuttles in 1 month, all right?
You would hope that they're not in any danger, but still, you got to, how pissed are you? You're up there and they're just leaving you. That's how unimportant you are. We'll get you eventually. Just stay up there.
Right.
You're hanging. The most unimportant astronauts of all time. Used to be the guys that cover it live. How do you
Not to mention, like, the whole world would, like, with Apollo 13, the whole world watched, and, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. The president probably doesn't. Well, Biden doesn't know about much.
Yeah, right.
But people don't even know they're up there.
Yeah, everyone's forgotten about it.
Yeah, they made a movie about Hanks and a guy stuck up there. These people,
we'll get you down eventually.
It's like
Stop.
you unpopular relative who you visit like every 5 years. That's what they're like. They're just left stranded in a space shuttle.
And that messes your body up being up.
Oh yeah,
zero
I
gravity
can't
for that long.
imagine what that does to your body and your mind. You must have a nervous breakdown up in space, or with just one other person. Good Lord. Eating urine soup. Imagine the stories they're going to have boring people to death when they come back. I was up, yeah, we know you were up there. We know
Most of us would love to see that view. They're going to be the only people who are like, if I ever see that view again, I'd kill somebody.
I'll hang myself.
It might be another possible income outlet for Musk. Like, he might be seeing it like, I'm going to leave these guys up there, and I'm going to launch, like, Uber Eats to the space station.
Taking pot to the space station.
They could take the pot to the space station.
I mean, if Musk got him, he'd be looked at as a
but these people
hero,
are actual NASA.
Yeah.
I mean, Musk could maybe save him, but he didn't have anything to do with sending him up there in the first place.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is amazing that they be trapped in space and nobody cares.
Yeah, it's like that movie, that Matt Damon movie, right? The Martian.
Oh, the Martian. Yeah. The Martian. Yeah.
They leave him on Mars for 3 years.
So I was reading where Pizza Hut is going to start selling wine. Pizza Hut is selling wine. You can now, is that really the place you go for fine wine? Is Pizza Hut?
Well, I tell you what, when Wawa said they were going to start selling pizza, I was skeptical, but I've had it. It's good.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine Wawa pizza when I first heard of it. I mean, I would eat any pizza though. I'm not.
Me too. I got it with my boy one night, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was not great. Like, again.
I've had worse.
That's exactly what it is. Like, Wawa isn't a good hoagie.
Right.
But it's a great hoagie at 2 a.m.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's exactly, like.
You're starving at that one time, you get a pizza.
So any pizza's pretty good. Like when I came off stage last night, there hadn't been any food. And some of the customers actually, some of the audience had brought in pizzas with them. So they said to me, the other guy, you want some pizza? Yeah, because we hadn't eaten all day.
Same thing with me. They had cold pizza. The guy was nice, and he said, "This pizza's for you guys," and he had some soda. But I don't like to eat before I go on stage. So when I was done, I was starving. I was like, now I'm going to eat. And what pizza looks like. It's been sitting out. I didn't care, man. I had like 2 slices of regular, 1 slice of pepperoni.
Best pizza
I was
ever.
just eating. I was so hungry.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's the comedy life right there.
What kind of cheap person takes this? Hey, we're gonna go out and get some wine and a meal, and they take you to Pizza Hut. The
Same
cheapest
people
fuck.
who are buying their wrapping paper.
They're
at
from KFC, right?
Well, the guy probably blew all his money on OnlyFans, and now this is all they can afford. When the girl he's taking out, this is all they
Right.
can afford is Pizza Hut wine.
Pizza Hut wine. Is it actually like Pizza Hut wine? Will it say like Pizza Hut on the wine, or is it like, or is it something like this that they're just selling?
That's a great question. I don't know. That's amazing. But imagine that's another thing. Like Pizza Hut, the people who go there now they're going to be drunk. They were already rude enough. People in Pizza Hut now they're going to be drunk.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys
Like selling
remember
booze at Waffle House or something like that. Like that's
exactly,
all you need.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Like Pizza Hut in the 70s was like a night out.
It was a
Like,
dining,
Right,
experience. Yes, it was.
And I feel like they had house wine. Like, I know that, like my dad would get beer, and
Really?
I
Do you-
feel like
really?
that they had like a bottle of like.
I remember they always had the jukebox and stuff like that, like
Miss
the
Pac-Man.
Yeah,
like
they had
every
some video games and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you said, it was like a
Because
you
this
would take the
article I
family
read
out.
made it sound like it was something new. Maybe they did have it in the past, and they're just bringing it back. I don't know.
I'm so old. I remember Geno's before they merged with KFC.
Geno's, absolutely. We had one right on the corner of Coppin and Tarsdale.
Yeah, there was one on the boulevard, right where
was it really?
right where pinups used to be. Now it's the rehab place, and but there was
before it was Pinups, it was Geno's.
I think it was next to it.
Okay.
I think it was next to it.
Yeah, but there was one at Coppin and Tarsdale, which now it was Geno's. Then it was Roy Rogers. Then Boston Market. Now it's a Popeyes.
Well, Geno's had come back. They had reopened one up on Street Road.
Right, that's right. But it didn't last,
and it was
right?
the Geno's Giant, and it was all like it was Geno's.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't last.
No,
My sister
There
met
might
Jay
be one or two.
Johnstone at the Geno's I'm talking about back in the 70s. Yeah. But yeah, it was Geno's, and then it turned to KFC, and I remember that. And Roy Rogers.
Of course, at that time, KFC wasn't in this part of the country, so they licensed KFC, and they would have the Colonel's picture up on the thing. Yeah.
Colonel's secret recipe.
Secret herbs and spices. How many is it? There's 7 herbs and
You'd
spices.
think it would be more.
I had a book one time that was talking about leadership and stuff like that, and it talked about like he got turned down, but I think it was like 130 times or something like that before somebody bought the recipe. Yeah.
Wow, can you imagine that?
Probably looking at him, right? Like,
When you stop after like
I'm not
50 or whatever, you're
taking-
like, no one's gonna buy this,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not taking this guy serious.
Right,
Like,
he
who's
kept on
buying
going.
his ticket?
He kept on going.
Harlan Sanders. And I'm really embarrassed that I know his first name. I'm really embarrassed. So, are you getting tired of the weathermen making up these crazy terms for weather? Like this week, they kept talking about this bomb cyclone that was coming. When a bomb cyclone.
Well, everything's for ratings now, right?
It's amazing the way
Yeah.
they make this, the way they make it sound like they make the weather sound like a Fast and Furious movie. You know,
It's
be
like the
something-
politics, right? Like for what 2 years, all you heard was like fear mongering from both sides
yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
because they gotta sell it, right? And now it's over, so now they're like, oh, now what do we talk about? You know?
Exactly.
On the way over tonight, they were talking about thunder snow.
See,
hitting
there you
the
go, thunder. There
Northeast.
you go.
Which I
Bomb
always said
cyclone.
sounded like an
Thunder snow.
AC/DC Christmas record, you know? Thunder snow.
Absolutely, that sounds like AC.
Thunder snow.
But it's amazing these weather. And I remember when we keep talking about the '70s. The weather would be at the end of the broadcast. It'd be like 2 minutes at the
Kim
end of the broadcast.
O'Brien, they're like joking back and forth,
But
nothing big.
now it's the lead story every night on the news, whether it's winter, summer. It could be a bright sunny day. And
Yep. They got a name for every full moon for every
It's-
month
it's-
now. It's like
it's
the fall
unbelievable.
red autumn moon or
They
whatever.
do.
You know?
They orange moon. You're
Yep.
right. It's amazing how weather is taking over. And did you just look out the window and just see what the
No, when
weather
I was
is?
a kid, it was weather and sports was like 5 minutes combined.
Right, exactly.
And it
At
was
the
the
end of the broadcast.
Yep.
Exactly. Weather was nobody cared.
Well, it's one of the few things that's like live, right? Like everything else is pre-recorded. Like you don't care. Like I'm watching news from 3 days ago. It's still new to me, but the weather lets you know, like, oh, this is happening now. Like,
I'll never
they're
forget,
talking about what's
and
happening.
they have videos of this, but I actually saw it live one time. I was watching my house, and there was this guy or this woman, and she looked like she was in this mist of this hurricane and everything, and all of a sudden you saw this old couple walking behind her. Perfect, normal as could be, and it was live TV. And
It was my nun skateboarding by.
yeah, right. She was on a surfboard.
But it's amazing the way they go crazy with this weather.
It's all about ratings and clicks.
I guess that's what I guess that's what it is, but it's amazing to me. So I was reading where Vladimir Putin has a daughter who lives in Paris, and she's a DJ. He's a DJ in some Paris nightclub. You're not using the name Putin, obviously. But can you imagine? Most fathers would tell her, get mad. You become a DJ. You're embarrassing the family. She's
right.
actually upgrading the family by becoming a DJ because she's getting away from Putin.
Wow,
Imagine.
it's nice for her to find her niche.
But your father's murderer, bloodthirsty murderer. And
Awful dictator.
Everybody dance. It's like finding out, Hitler's daughter was a stand-up comic or something.
Yeah, right. Right.
Putin's daughter was a.
But she's still slipping propaganda into the mix. You know, she's like, wait for the drop.
Yeah.
She's like a Tokyo Rose.
Yeah.
But that is all right. I was laughing so hard when I found the Putin's daughter. Can you imagine?
Is a DJ. That is
A
great.
Russian club DJ seems to be like the most Western decadent thing that you could
Like
think
who's
of.
not going to
Like,
hire her? If they know,
Yeah. Mussolini's daughter was a ventriloquist. I don't know if you know that. She had a side career. And real quick, did you see where we lost a legend? We lost a legend this week. Chuck Woolery died. Chuck Woolery died. Yeah, the original host of Wheel of Fortune, Chuck Woolery.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the original host of Wheel of Fortune back in the 70s. And then, of course,
how many game shows did he do?
I know he did, obviously, at least Wheel of Fortune. And,
he was the dating game, right?
The dating game,
No, he did Love Connection.
Oh, Love Connection.
Love Connection.
Yes, Love
He
Connection.
did at least those two, Wheel and Love Connection, and maybe something else. But yeah, that's what he was most famous for, Love Connection. Back in 2 and 2.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
Chuck Woolery. He was 83 years old, which is weird. You forget how old people are getting. You see, people.
I told a buddy of mine. I said, as we get older, I said the people whose music we loved growing up, like all those people are going to be gone in 10 years.
It's Chuck Woolery.
Like Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney in their 80s.
Oh yeah, McGonigal's 82 years old.
These guys are going to be gone in like 10 years.
Oh, easily.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Before that, they're all going to get it's going to be like a rush of them dying. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Well, we did just about an hour first, and I want to thank you. We got through another stupid episode. I can't believe it. This is great. I want to thank my guests for coming out. Jason, you want to plug your Drunken Gaming podcast right here on the Trainwreck Media, right?
Yes, sir.
That's and Tim, anything to plug? Any shows coming up?
I'll be at Uncle Vinny's on December 18th. That's about it.
I got a couple shows later in December. I'll be plugging them on Facebook. And any comedy bookers out there, wouldn't kill you to book Ed McGonigal. As I say every episode, it wouldn't kill you. Thanks a lot. Thanks to my guests. Thanks to the great Jim Corham. We'll see you on the next stupid episode. Thanks a lot, folks.